this is a new favorites video where I'm going to share with you objects, things I think that might inspire you too, that inspired me these past weeks, and things I'm starting to gather for my Halloween decor, things like that. So I'm going to show you a bit of that before I come back with videos more about my things in progress, the art I'm doing right now for the exhibition, and all the Halloween videos coming. They are coming in the second half of September. I will first start to show you the fabric I recently received. So the only thing I'm ordering or I'm buying for my Halloween decor this year, it's a bit of fabric and candles. Otherwise it's things I'm doing only coming from the workshops, sometimes one or two other things, and things coming from nature, branches, things like that. I don't buy any plastic decor or anything else. But I wanted some fabric to change. I mainly have white in my living room and I wanted to have more colors, not the classic Halloween colors, because I'm really looking for elegant, aristocratic witch in my living room and in my home, in the rooms I decorate in my home for Halloween. So I don't have the normal colors, but I'm going to show you the fabric I just received today, and I have a few more which should come, but you will see them in my Halloween tour, my Halloween videos. So those are the 3 fabric I ordered online. I wanted to have for my maybe Christmas, maybe Halloween. I wasn't really sure. I thought I would use them. So I first ordered this one, which is a pink fleur-de-lis fabric. I thought it was a lilac, sort of light purple fabric, and it's really pink, all pink, very pretty, quite heavy. It's really for home decor, nothing else. There is this one, which is a very baroque one, which looks a bit like the one I had already for a long time, and I wanted to have some sort of similar ones, and I really like it. And on the back it's quite pretty too. You have these nice stripes. And I think actually I'm going to use them so for some tablecloth or that, just because I of course didn't want to have some orange, black, something too dark, but with sort of light colors that would work well with my pumpkins and my new decors, my butterflies, all that you are going to see in my Halloween videos. So when I saw them, I thought, I think these 2 ones, I'm going to order more of those, and they are going to become curtains for my living room. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. Here there are different backgrounds, so I will see which background I choose, but I really like them. They are very pretty. They are a little bright, quite good quality. And yes, the fleur-de-lis one is really nice too. It's a beautiful all pink. I really love that. The red one I thought would be more sort of slightly more orange, and it's really red. So I was thinking, if it doesn't work well for my Halloween, because obviously you don't usually have red for Halloween unless you have a sort of vampire decor, maybe. I'm not sure I'm going to use it for Halloween. I might use it for Christmas instead. And I bought quite a lot. So, and I have 2 or 3 more that I bought, just small pieces on second-hand website, which will complement, I think, my Halloween, my 2 first fabric that I will use for my tablecloth and all that. So yes, that's the fabric I just found. I'm quite happy. Even the red one, I will find something to do with this one. I also wanted to share a book I've listened to. It was an audiobook. I listened to it in audio version by an American author. This summer I listened to this book, This Victorian Life, by Sarah A. Chrisman, who is an American writer, and she lives in the Pacific Northwest, I think. And she is quite obsessed with traveling in time and the end of the 19th century. And I was really interested to know more about her path, all that. I'm obsessed with traveling in time, and it has been my biggest obsession when I was a teenager. I really wanted to go back in, for me, earlier period, like 18th, early 19th century, end of 17th, but not the 20th and the 21st now. I really wanted to escape this modernity and technology, all that. Of course, I never really traveled, as you can imagine, but I'm always interested to meet people who also do that in a way which works with our modern life, our modern world. And she has published this book showing her process, adding a bit of 19th century Victorian life into her daily life. So in her clothes, she makes all her own clothes, hand sewing them, in the way she lights her home, she heats her home, all that. Everything, the most things she can. She doesn't do everything, I suppose, totally like the 19th century, because we can't. Some things are just impossible. But she does a lot, and it's very inspiring. So the book is really about her process, and also about little history. She explained also a lot of historical things, of course. She's doing that very much like an historian. She has also published fiction books, poetry books, all that. So I've just started with this one, This Victorian Life, and she has a YouTube channel. I will put just under my video all the information, links, all that you may be which might be useful for you if you want to know more about all that. So I really enjoy this book, which explains all that, which resonates a lot with me because I would like to make my own clothes. I want to go maybe a little deeper and further in my own journey. She's pretty far because she's really dressed every day with a corset and a 19th century dress that she had made for herself with 19th century shoes, all that. And I really love that. I love people who go till the end of their dreams, really. And there is a moment she talks about ink and paper and writing, how we communicate today, obviously a lot of with technology. And also this resonated with me a lot. And she mentioned an ink, I'm going to show you all that, that I ordered online. After that, after listening to the book, because I was so intrigued, I wanted to try to go back with writing more, maybe mainly with my own circle friends, that I could maybe try to communicate a bit less with computer, email, all that, and maybe more with paper and ink and see how it would go. So I just ordered my inks. I had some already dip pen, things like that I already own, well, in my family, my grandmother had, and I tried to see if I could add a bit more of that in my daily life. So I have started to gather my sort of supplies tools, so inspired by this Victorian Life and Sarah Chrisman. So I have this fountain pen, which I received for my graduation. This one belonged to my grandmother, who was a teacher, and she has a lot of fountain pen and a passion for fountain pen. So we had a lot of that, and I'm happy I still have her own. But what I really prefer is a dip pen. So this one is a little too small. It's something I found also in my family home. It was a child dip pen, I think, because it's very tiny. It's not super comfortable to hold as an adult. So I'm going to try to find something a little more suitable for an adult, but I'm really happy I'm going mainly to use this one because I just prefer the sound of it, the way that you have to add some pressure to your paper to make a thick line or a thin line. With the fountain pen you can't totally do that, but I'm going to try to use them a bit more because I quite love these writing tools. Unfortunately, they are not used so much these days, and I think it's sad because there's a real poetry in that. And this writing thing, it was an apprentice magician who offered that to me the first year when I organized a summer weekend for apprentice magician in my home, and she offered me that. And at the time I didn't know how to use it really because I don't write a lot, and I don't really have the space in my art desk in the studio, so I plan to make a desk only for writing. I have my desk in my living room. There is an old computer right now which I still use, so I can't for the moment have everything on a desk, so I put it here and on my thing here, my tray, and but I really want to have a proper place to write, easy to use, as easy as a computer. And I can put my ink here if I want to. For the moment, I leave it in the bottles, but I'm definitely going to use that. In this Victorian Life, Sarah Chrisman mentioned this ink, specific ink, by Jacques Herbin, which was it's a very old brand, which was started in 1670, and at the beginning they were only doing paper, wax, things for writing, all that, not ink. They really started it in 1798. It's the reason they afterwards recently started a collection of ink with 1798, and I bought this one, Améthyste de l'Oral, because I love the name, and it's a purple, and there was something like that, so you're supposed to agitate it before you use it. It's very beautiful. I love the bottle. I think it looks very luxurious and precious, very pretty. So it just really excited me to use it. They have other colors, they have other range of collection. This one it's a collection which has also a bit of silver inside, so you have to agitate it before using it. And I bought another one that she mentioned in the book. It's this one actually that she mentioned in the book. It's scented ink, also by Herbin. It's a more affordable. This one is slightly more expensive. This one is really very affordable. Scented inks was already normal in the 16th century. You could buy some scented ink. This one is rose ink. It doesn't smell a lot, I would say. It's very, very subtle. And the collection of this ink is called Les Subtils. As you can see, it's called Les Subtils, and they have others. They have violet, apple, rose, cocoa, lavender, and orange. But it's more interesting, as she says, Sarah, in her book, you really send them when you write. Once it is dry, you can't smell the scent very, very much. But it's very pretty too, and I loved really having now my 2 inks, so I have 2 inks to choose when I want to write. And this one, the purple one, came with a nice box. Also quite nice, really. I think it's also a nice present to do. If you know some people who write or that, I think it's a pretty nice present to have. So yes, this one is Amethyste L'Oral. I'm going probably to have 1 or 2 more. Once I know I write and I use them, I make a real good habit of that. I will try to find 1 or 2 more. So right now I don't put them here, I just open the bottle and put my dip pen inside. This was the cover of the notebook I just used under it. Right now, since I don't have my writing desk all settled, so I started to buy my stamps, of course, because you need stamps. I really wanted to have everything ready, everything easy to use, that I can use, whether using an email for tons of reasons. I start to be really, really bored with emails. I know it's a thing we have to do, but I thought really for friends there's no reason why I use email. We are not in a hurry, we can take our time, so I'm going to try and see if I can go back with writing, since I did it a lot, of course, in my youth, and till really a young adult I was doing it. So I bought this, just simple, basic ivory paper. I'm going to try to maybe afterwards find other things if I found other paper, but I just bought simple things I found here in my city, some envelopes, some my inks, and I'm going to try to use that instead using email all the time. And there is something so magical in writing. The sound of the quill, the sound of this part on the paper makes such a nice sound. We forget all these things when we are sending email. We forget all the magic of writing. I really want to go back to that. I think there's something really peaceful and relaxing. You enjoy the contact of the paper, of the ink. For me, it's different than creating all that drawing. It's totally different. I don't want to do that, of course, for any professional reason. It's only for my personal, enrich maybe a bit my personal life and the way I communicate with people, especially with friends. So I'm really happy on the stamps. It's so poetic to put a stamp on an envelope. You don't have that when you press send in an email and you send a digital message. Another thing I found in a second-hand website this summer, I didn't wear it yet, is an old shirt, lace shirt. I can't really say from which period it is. I would say early 20th. It's not perfect. There are some slightly yellowish bars here and there, so I was thinking maybe I'm going to dye it. I'm not really sure yet. I think I'm going to start to wear it and see how it goes, and maybe at some point I will dye it. But I thought it was really pretty. And I like the detail. It's a quite heavy, thick cotton, not the ones we have these days. So it's the reason I think it comes from first 20th century, not really older than that. I don't think so. But yes, I was quite happy. I plan to really make my clothes at some point, but till then I try to gather a few things, at least maybe to find afterwards some patterns or some having some examples of things to imitate in an easy way. And to finish this favorites, I wanted to share a book. This time it's in French. Usually I always try to find books that you can find also in English. This author is a bit translated in Spanish, but I didn't find anything in English. That's really sad because she has excellent books. So it's Une robe de la couleur du temps by Jacqueline Kelen, and it's Le sens spirituel des contes de fées, the spiritual meaning of fairy tales. So she goes through most of the very famous classic fairy tales, you know, Princess on the Pea, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Little Red Riding Hood, and she really give a completely different meaning from what the things we usually know from these fairy tales. Little Red Riding Hood, all that, she has a completely different angle of seeing things. I found it extremely interesting, extremely beautifully written. So for those who understand French or can read French, I would highly recommend it. It's a refreshing way to see fairy tales. Maybe you will not agree with everything she says or she writes, but it's very interesting. I really loved it. She has written a book I was reading for the link to the exhibition. So yes, I'm not going to talk really too long on that because obviously it's in French. I know very few people will be able to read it in French. Maybe it's a reason where it's necessary sometimes to speak and to understand several languages because you have access to more things. This one I was really happy to read it, as I'm super interested in fairy tales in general, going deeper and further in their meaning, and even I have some psychoanalytic books, some historical books about fairy tales. I don't always agree with everything, but I like to see how people see them, and it always nourishes me and helps me to see things in a bit a different way. And this one is very beautiful. I really loved it. I still have 3 stories to go, three fairy tales she has to explain right now. It's Cinderella, Podane, Donkey Skin, and Sleeping Beauty. I'm really interested to see what she's going to say about those. And the other ones it was all really nice and a great book to read. I read it in my morning breakfast, during my morning breakfast, and I thought it was a great way to start the day. Thank you very much for watching this favorite. So I will be back soon showing you all the things I'm creating for the exhibition, the characters, the scenes, and also I will give you some news from the Halloween workshop and my Halloween decor, because I'm going to put up my Halloween decor I think next weekend. Not the one coming, but the next one. And I'm so excited to see the past Halloween decor from last year, the new one I'm doing this year, and the fabric, the little things I found also, which are going to work really well together. So you're going to see that. I will have a series of videos about Halloween. But the first Halloween workshop is of course already open, and it's going to remain open till mid-October. And the new one is coming at the very end of September. You can give a thumbs up if it inspired you. Maybe you're going to try to write with ink and a dip pen or a quill, who knows. Let me know if you do that. And you can subscribe if you don't want to miss all the nice videos coming. Thank you, and I will see you soon.